And so what changes, what are the things that we can do, right? So definitely, if we know what are some of the factors that cause it, we can kind of try to undo those things, right? And so there, we talk about what are some of the myths, and some of the myths are like, hey, poor lighting makes a difference. And so that is no longer a myth, and that is true. The studies are showing that children who spend less than 2 hours a day with outside activities have a higher incidence in the development of nearsightedness. And so that also goes true for when you're indoors, right? So if you can't be outside, but you are inside, then you gotta make sure that when you are inside, you have the brightest conditions as possible. So no dim lighting when you're reading, because that will induce more eye strain. You definitely want to keep your child on a healthy sleep schedule, because you want to regulate, and you want their body. Sleep is like the way that the body and the brain heals and rests, right? And so you want to keep them on a healthy sleep schedule. The other thing that I always talk about with the sleep schedule, because we're excessively using all these digital devices, you want to make sure that your eyes have the opportunity to relax from the devices. So the cells that maintain our body clock, that tells us it's time to go to sleep, it's time to wake up, are actually in the eye. And when we're using all these devices continuously, those cells get shut down. Or when you use them too close to bedtime, they don't have that time to regenerate or restore their cells to say, hey, it's time to go to sleep. So very often we see that there's a lot of sleep disturbances in these kids, where either they have difficulty falling asleep, or even if they do fall asleep, that they stay soundly asleep. And so that in itself is a whole topic, the excessive use of digital devices and their impact. But definitely keeping them on a healthy schedule. Again, making sure that they're keeping their devices, because the new thing, right, is so, again, keeping their world as far away as they can. One of the biggest recommendations I made to my patients this year when they were doing all the e-learning, all these kids got these tablets from their school, and they literally were like this, right? So I told my parents, no, you can project. You can, connect your tablet to either a projector and project it on the wall, so your child's looking over there and it simulates more of a whiteboard, or you could even do it on a larger monitor. But you want to keep that distance, and so making sure that distance. And then even with books, for example, we have something called the Harmon's distance, and the way it is you put your hand on your chin, and then you put the device right at your elbow, and this is the distance that's for me. Of course, that distance is going to be smaller for a smaller child who has a smaller arm, but you don't want to bring it in any closer than that, because the closer we bring it in, the more that we have to focus harder, the more that we're challenging the muscle balance, and then the more that we're putting them at greater risk for that development. We also talk about this 20-20-minute rule, and it is a good idea. To be honest with you, I don't think it's really practical. A lot of the parents forget, because you get so involved in what you're doing, you can't remember that, I gotta take my 20-minute break and go look away. Ideally, you should do it. If you want to really be successful at doing that, you may want to set a timer, because you need those constant reminders to be able to help you with that. But really, really the best thing is get your child to play outdoors. Go to the park, go ride your bike, go to the swings, go be outside, watch the trees, watch the birds, watch the clouds. Do all those things that are outside, and definitely not sharing each other's glasses. That's one of the things, is like, hey, I can see with your glasses. You don't want to be wearing other people's glasses. You don't, they're made for you. And so don't share each other's glasses, and making sure that you're getting all of that. And so definitely getting into a nearsightedness management program, whether it's the gentle shaping program, whether it's the multifocals, whether it's the eye drops. Which program is best for you really depends on where you are, what's going on with your child, what you can do as a family. So discussing that one-on-one with your doctor is definitely important. And definitely foods are really, really critical, again, because the eyes and the brain are really an integral part. They're really the one and the same. So what we do for the eyes, we're doing for the brain, we're doing for the overall person, the overall child. So brain healthy foods, green leafy vegetables, they are very high in vitamin A, and vitamin A is really critical to protect your eyes from all the blue light that's being emitted from the devices. Definitely increasing your time outdoors. We don't know specifically if it's the lighting or just looking far away, or if it's the vitamin D that we're absorbing, because again, we're seeing studies that are showing that children or individuals that are nearsighted actually have lower levels of vitamin D. So getting vitamin D into your system, and definitely omegas. Omegas are the nutrients that help those cells that are pulled and stretched regenerate. And so these cells consistently need to regenerate, especially if they're under high stress because of the pulling and the stretching. So these omegas are very good for your brain, they're good for your eyes, and there definitely has solid evidence that they are very, very important. So when we look at all of this globally, right? So whatever we do for the eyes is what we're doing for the brain, is what we're doing for your overall child. So everything that we do in our office is driven more on the overall, it's the eyes, but really it's the brain, it's the body, it's the person, because it's all really connected. So doing all those positive things, the sleep, making sure you're eating healthy. Even though you're eating healthy, I fall on the side of yes, definitely supplementing is important, because even if we eat healthy, our foods aren't as healthy and as nutritious as they used to be. Vitamin A, for example, you would have to eat 7 cups of spinach a day or 40 eggs to get the daily dose of vitamin A. Nobody's really doing that as healthy as they may be. So that's why I tend to fall on the side, yes, we need to make sure that we're taking those supplements. Definitely hydrating, because water helps, again, cleanse the body, release the toxins. It helps a lot of the neurons work faster. Definitely movement and exercise, because it positively reinforces the biochemistry in the body, making sure that we try our best to minimize all of the toxins, whether it be in the foods, whether it be in the products that we use, whether it be in the things that are in our environment. And definitely getting your annual eye exams, or sometimes even more frequently. When I'm concerned about a child developing nearsightedness, or that they already are in nearsightedness, I no longer watch them every 12 months. I've changed my model where now I watch them every 6 months. And so definitely the more that we exercise these things now, the better that you're preparing your child to be a healthy adult, so that they're going to live a life that's healthier and safer.